It's a minute gone past the hour of 9 o'clock in the morning. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carrick, Repeating Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, to you wherever you are. It's a wonderful Monday morning for today. It's the 13th day of the month of June. And so it's a pleasure being here with you. Your boy JC, and welcome to this episode of To The Point. I hope you had a really restful weekend. Productive, I would say, for others. I know others, it was not much rest at all, but certainly we're happy that we're still in the land of the living, and we're giving God thanks and praise for being here. A special good morning to our listeners, those of you in Classic 105.5 and 105.9, and those of you just joining us, our viewers on television. I say a special good morning also to those of you joining me via the World Wide Web at www.gbn.gd, those of you chiming in via our social media platforms, be it Facebook or YouTube. Indeed, it's a pleasure being here with you. Fisherman's birthday. Whether or not it has occurred to you, it is literally just weeks away, and certainly it has gotten lost in the excitement of the election season, but certainly just to ensure it doesn't get forgotten, and it would never be forgotten. We have two members of the Guelph Improvement Committee, Brenda, Phillip, and David Hopkin, joining us this morning to have a really great conversation as to the plans for Fisherman's Birthday 2022. My dear lady and sir, good morning and welcome to The Point. Are you not hearing me? Brenda? Okay. We'll take a quick commercial break, Renee. Take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on Classic in the morning time for the start of To The Point. They are the few, the strong, the elite. Grenada, get ready as our sporting gladiators go for gold and glory at the World Championships. Follow every throw, stride, and jump from July 15th to the 24th. Capture the action daily on GBN television. It's the World Championships. The dream continues.
James is going to win it.
30 Seconds of Calm, brought to you by the Environment Division, Government of Grenada, and the OACS. Celebrating the environment under the theme Only One Earth and Living in Harmony with Nature for June 2022. 30 Seconds of Calm, brought to you by the Environment Division, Government of Grenada, and the OACS. Celebrating the environment under the theme Only One Earth and Living in Harmony with Nature for June 2022.
5 things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital.
Back to, we do apologize. Murphy's Law, he says, if anything goes wrong, it will go wrong. and at the worst possible time. But that being said, there's always a way to get ready to sort of these challenges in the morning time. My guest this morning, and they are part of the planning committee for Fisherman's Birthday 2022, Brenda, Phillip, and David Hopkin. My dear lady and sir, good morning and welcome to The Point.
Good morning. Good morning. And it's great to be here this morning to share on the activities for Fisherman's Birthday Celebrations 2022. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to be here.
Indeed, it's a pleasure having you here on the platform this morning. Fisherman's Birthday. Let's, if we can, before we get into the specifics for the 2022 celebration, it probably would be good for those who probably doesn't have an appreciation for the celebration. Maybe we can do a little history, the significance of Fisherman's Birthday, and what it really means to the people of Guelph, who I know, if nothing, they hold dear to, is the 29th of June. Who's going to throw the first toss at me?
I noticed Brenda is smiling because she's very much involved in intangible cultural heritage these days, and trying to ensure that we safeguard those cultural heritage. But to begin, Fisherman's Birthday is one of the signature events for St. John's, and I would want to coin it as the Mecca event for St. John's Parish. You want to say St. John's Day, if you want to put it that way. It's originated from a very Christian Catholic celebration. The church, the Catholic Church in Guelph, is named St. Peter. And St. Peter is one of the apostles of Christ, Jesus, and he was a fisherman. He was called from fishing fish to evangelize and to share the message, the gospel message. Now, the church being part of that community of Guelph and is known for its fishing trade over the years, that celebration moved out of that context. So the church being there at that time, many years ago, long before even my grandparents were born, Fisherman's Birthday was celebrated. And it's because the church at the time recognized the contribution of the fishermen in that area. And actually, when the church was built, it was named St. Peter because of the significance of the community being a fishing capital, a fishing village. And over years, it has become a very important aspect of the life and the people of St. John. It has evolved over time, and it's now a national festival. One of the festivals that people look forward to. People take their vacation from overseas to come to celebrate as well.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. Now that you put it into perspective, Fisherman's Birthday is a celebration of commerce through fishing, a celebration of spirituality, our way of life. It encompasses all the different facets of what makes Guelph what it is. I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm starting going, wow, okay. I didn't realize it had such a strong spiritual background to it. And I guess we can well appreciate why it has survived over the years, Brenda. And this is something that's ingrained and rooted, and is part of being a resident of Guelph, part of being the fishing basket, the Mecca of Grenada. There's no way to separate it.
Definitely. I'm happy that I've been called to give service in that area, and as a resident of Guelph, you grow up into that culture. So you know, we have fisher folks from your grandparents, as David said, your aunts, your uncles, everybody is involved in fishing in some form of a way. So it is just good to be part of this celebration.
You've had this celebration, you've grown up in it. Share with me some of the fonder memories you have of Fisherman's Birthday as a young person growing up, and how you've seen it, the celebrations evolved over the years.
As a child, my grandfather was a fisherman. My uncles were fishermen. My grandmother, she was a fishing vendor. So I was very much part of that community. I would gather with the kids, the children in the area. We would be on the beach. We would see things like, the greasy pole. There were people from other communities who came in, and they would have all the game boards. We had races. There was just a whole mecca of events happening, and you get to be in the middle, in the center of all of this. That's the day when you actually get your hands. Everybody will be giving you food to eat, things to drink, and
you get a whole day to cut loose.
Exactly. You would be on the beach in the sea from the morning until the evening, and nobody tells you no time to go home or anything like that. You're just part of that activity.
Yeah, I want to agree, Brenda. That's my childhood memories as well. And you look forward to that day. Even now, people say there's one place in Grenada that will have a public holiday, that is the 29th of June in St. John. Everything literally stops to celebrate that day. I also want to bring out another issue here. The issue of, they say, Guam is a place that never sleeps. And it came from that aspect of the fishing industry as well. And I would raise that based on my childhood memories. When the boats would have gone out at sea varying times during the day and returning at night, the families and friends would be on the bay waiting for the return of the boats to help pull it up on shore, to help sort out the fish, clean, store, whatever needed to be done. And the wives are there to provide food for the fishermen. And then the shops began to open so that when they come in, they can have something to eat. And you see, the boats came in at different times. So some may come in at 8, some would come in at 9, some would come in at 10, and it can go on. So there would always be people around in the village waiting for the boats to come in. So that tradition or that way of life has evolved, that it's a village that never sleeps, because there's always that trade of the fish and so on. We have a lot of technology now, so we don't have to wait up that much. The fish could be stored on board until the next morning. The fish market is open. That kind
Right. Interesting. Quite interesting. I mean, I'm listening here because you've always known the city that never sleeps, and you probably often wondered why. Is it that there's a special spirit that prevails the atmosphere in Guelph? But I mean, and you would agree that for you've come to appreciate the value of fishing as an industry, because very often it's not seen that way. Years ago, though, it was not seen that way. Folks within the fishing community, there were many, very often they were looked down upon, and people saw them as being less than human in some actual cases. David.
It's the same thing in Bible time as well. Peter was not considered important at all, and he was selected. And that's one of the reasons why we want to highlight the importance of the fishing industry, particularly Guam, and its contribution to the national economy. In whatever form, whether you go out at sea to fish or you help in the sales of the fish, whatever form, that aspect of the industry is very important, and it's actually providing livelihoods for communities in St. John's. And I say St. John's particularly because you may say, how is it connected with Cloget, or how it's connected with Grand Roy or Concord or any of those villages in St. John? It is connected because growing up, what I knew is that the fish vendors would go up to Cloget to sell. But when they come back down, they come back with the vegetables. So they may not get cash, but they would get a battering.
So there's a trade, right?
Yeah, a trading. So all of that is part of our culture. We supported each other at all the villages.
Quite interesting. Quite interesting. And then you would know if as a child, I mean, you've had the experience, the folks with the conch shell, when you hear it, and they traverse through all the little villages. And it was also a way of communicating with the residents, because the fishermen, they too would come with their stories. And if you wanted to get a message, give it to a fisherman, because you know he's going through all of those villages.
Definitely. And we still have that. Some of the guys, the vendors, they would go with the vans, but one of the things they use to a lot of people that we are coming to sell fish is the conch shell. It's blown and people come out of their homes to buy the fish. It still happens.
It still happens?
Yeah.
I thought maybe these days they said WhatsApp.
Well, that too happens as well. They put up
a status.
Yeah. Can happen as well. Yeah, but some of this still happens. People would go up to the villages and or they would have their connection. So there's a linkage between, for my family, for example, while my grandparents, particularly on my grandmother's side, lived on the bay itself. They grew up there. Actually, my family has property on the bay itself, but we have fishermen who come directly to our home to bring fish, and we purchase from them.
Quite interesting. 19 minutes gone past the hour this morning. Brenda, Phillip, and David Hopkin, they're members of the planning committee for Fisherman's Birthday 2022. Over the years, though, before we're going to get into the specifics of this year's campaign, over the years, though, we've seen some shifts in what we've known Fisherman's Birthday to be. And some have argued that it has lost some of its energy and fervor, the glamour and the excitement that it used to be, that it has lost some of those. Is that a reasonable assessment, Brenda?
I would agree with you. And this would probably stem from, what you said earlier, where people look down at fisher folks. So, the fishermen would work hard, they send their kids to school, but when you go to school, they tell you that you need to, learn to have a different type of job. So in other words, as what we say, white-collar jobs. So a lot of people were not actually thinking, okay, I'm going to school, but I'm going to learn, fishing techniques. I'm going to learn something that can, come back in that manner in terms of a career.
Right.
So we had a kind of brain drain. We had a kind of gap, so to speak. And you find a lot of people moved away from fishing and trying other types of career. The older folks were there. Most of them, like I know, would have died. We still have a few older ones around that we do appreciate and we try to cherish and show them our appreciation. But even the activities, though, like I said, we have gotten into technology and the music have influence and all of that. So things have evolved and things have changed. We try as much as possible to get the way it used to be, but like I said, the interest in getting people to be involved, it's not as it used to be before.
And I'm assuming with that, David, do you agree? Because I'm assuming if that being the case, the plans literally is going to surround how do we get back, how do we re-energize and invigor that element of what is so sacred to the people of Guelph or St. John's in specifically. David?
Okay, thanks Brenda for sharing that. I don't know if I would say I agree or disagree with your statement. I'm going to make my point based on how I see it.
Okay.
And first of all, the persons who say that it has lost its meaning, if I should say that, where are they coming from in terms of what do they expect of the celebration? Now, the fishermen would have another idea. They mean we're not getting much of the sea activities. So, for example, we want to see activities happening on the bay, more of that. The person who wants a fete may want to see more DJs on the street and more jump up and more this and that. The other person may want to see more educational activities that can stimulate career development and so forth. And that's what the committee tries to do. bring all those aspirations or those expectations together so that we can create a festival that all persons can benefit from it. The challenge, however, as Brenda mentioned, is that how many persons are coming forward to assist in the production of this. So, for example, we want to have the activities on the bay, but the fishermen will say, oh, this is my holiday. I'm not working on that day. I should just be celebrating. But who would go on the sea and do the boat racing and the sailing and so on? So one way we have tried to do that is to collaborate with the sailors, the young sailors, the sailing schools and so on that we have, so that we can create that experience. Another way last year what we did is put the fishermen in groups so that they can have little activities on the bay on their own, like cook and share or something like that. So we tried different activities to meet the expectations of all persons. So while somebody will say not enough happening at the bay, but we also provide another opportunity for other persons outside of that to celebrate.
So is it more case where you've expanded the portfolio of the offering that's traditionally compared to where we just jump up, fet on the beach? No, you have a wider scope of offering. But you would agree with me though, David, that I remember years ago when you heard Fisherman's Birthday, it was a buzz across the country. People would leave. I mean, I remember as a young, you leave in town, you leave in St. George, and you heading to go off because it was a national conversation. Guys, it's Fisherman's Birthday. It was almost, some will argue, why isn't it a national holiday? Because there was that buzz in the air.
Well, I would say the buzz is still there, and we do have lots of persons coming to go out for Fisherman's Birthday. Even if the committees don't plan anything, I'm telling you, Guelph will be still filled with people. They would turn up, right? Because that's a big celebration for them. But we do have a lot of people coming to the celebration, and there is still that buzz. And we try to ensure when you talk about the celebration, most persons, if you take just the day, 29 June, it always starts with a church service.
Right.
Catholic church, then it goes into the blessing of the boats. And from there, you have a whole list of activities on the bay, where fun ones where you maybe climb the grizzly pole. You have things like eating the bun, beach football, and things like that, along with the sailing races and so forth. And we have all of this. All of this is part of the package on the day. Then we end up with a big stage event, right? And after midnight, we go into the Anglican school for our fisherman's party, kind of. So it has not changed really. It depends on what you're looking for.
Quite interesting.
This is one of the reasons why the committee would have expanded the period of time where they have activities leading up to 29 June celebration, so that everybody gets to enjoy part of whatever they're looking for.
Okay, we are going to get into that, but we have to take a quick commercial break. 26 minutes gone past the hour. My guest this morning, Brenda Phillip, David Hopkin, and they're part of the Guelph Improvement Committee that's responsible for planning Fisherman's Birthday. We take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back right here on To The Point. They are the few, the strong, the elite. Grenada, get ready as our sporting gladiators go for gold and glory at the World Championships. Follow every throw, stride, and jump from July 15th to the 24th. Capture the action daily on GBN Television. It's the World Championships. The dream continues.
James is going to win it.
30 Seconds of Calm, brought to you by the Environment Division, Government of Grenada, and the OACS, celebrating the environment under the theme Only One Earth and Living in Harmony with Nature for June 2022. 30 Seconds of Calm brought to you by the Environment Division, Government of Grenada and the OACS, celebrating the environment under the theme Only One Earth and Living in Harmony with Nature for June 2022.
5 things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected.
We believe this new virus spreads mostly from person to person through respiratory droplets produced when someone who is sick coughs or sneezes. This is similar to how flu and other respiratory illnesses spread. These droplets can land in the mouth or nose of people nearby, or possibly be inhaled into the lungs. Most person-to-person spread happens when people are in close contact. It's also possible that this virus can spread when someone touches a contaminated surface and then touches the mouth, nose, or eyes.
Thank you. Welcome back to the program. 29 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock in the morning. Time to the point for today, the 13th day of June. My guests this morning, members of the planning committee for Fisherman's Birthday 2022, Brenda, Phillip, and David Hopkin. I'm not seeing David. I'm not sure if we seem to be having some challenges again, some connectivity challenges.
Sorry, we're not hearing you.
Okay, I'm not sure what is it, but it's one of those mornings that comes with a number of challenges that we've not prepared for. Tim, I think you need to join me again. We'll take a very quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on To The Point.
One day, I woke up and, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop That is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
The angelic melodic voice there of Sabrina Francis, certainly it's just a golden voice that at any time of the day you hear it, it calms you. The talent, certainly she should be singing with the angels. Yeah, she definitely should be. Welcome back to the program, to the point for today, the 13th day of the month of July, and I do apologize for the challenges we've been having with the audio. But my guest this morning, just to remind, in case you just joining us, Brenda, Phillip, David Hopkin, and they're part of the planning committee for Fisherman's Birthday 2022. Let's talk about some of the events. We've spoken about the highs, the lows, the challenges. But the one thing that we've all agreed that over the years, Brenda, there's been an effort by the organizers to expand what we've traditionally come to have known as Fisherman's Birthday. It started with the church. The annual celebration is going to start off with a church service. And let's talk about some of the other activities that's going to mark the 2022 calendar for the event.
Actually, Joseph, we actually will be launching on the 15th of June. So, like I said, we expanded the time period, and we have not just condensed it to one day as it would have been in the past. So we're going to be launching, and on that night of the launch, we're going to have a gospel night. So we'll have different performances from the schools, from the churches, and other individuals. After that, we would move on to Friday, June the 17th, where we would have the Fisherman Open Day. During that day, we would be given information, video clips, and so on about safety at sea and all of these things. On Saturday, June the 18th, we would have the Sports Day, which would be involving all of the community groups and individuals who would want to come together on that day and just, share different activities sports-wise. Sunday, the 19th of June, we would have to me, this is like one of my most prized events. This is where we have the retired fisher folks come together, and we would take them on a tour. We would have a dinner for them, and
nice.
We would be letting them having a good time, spending time with each other. Some of them may not have seen each other in a while, and they would just get to spend a day together as a group, enjoying themselves.
But why is that particularly so important to you as an individual, Brenda?
It is important because I think we need to share knowledge. And this is part of the event. We get to hear stories, we get to hear things that they would have experienced before, and they would pass it on to some of us, and we in turn can pass it on to our children. But generally, to just honor the fisher folks that we have in our community, I think they played a very pivotal role in our development, not just as a community, but as Grenadians on a whole. Families, a lot of us, like I say, this is what sent us to school. This is what gave us an education. And they were the forerunners who would have participated and they would have been there. So we know, even though they get old and they are now retired, we still want to show our appreciation. So to me, this is, very close to my heart. I mean, I don't have my grandparents here anymore. They've passed, but I do have uncles and aunts and other relatives in the community as well who is involved in fishing.
David, looking forward to that day as well? Or are you more looking for the jump and wave, shake a leg and break away?
Well, I would say all of the activities I'm looking forward to, and I seriously, each one of them is just as important to me because it brings that richness of our parish. Earlier on, you mentioned, we said the context of the celebration, but I just want to pull in here one of the other challenge that we have is that of finance. I mean, we get subvention from government for the celebration because it's a national festival, and we do have the corporate sponsorship, but we're still calling on corporate Grenada to join us in providing the funding for the celebration. We are impeded by the election process that we all know, and it can affect some of the things that we are going to do, but we're not letting that stop us. As a people, we still have life has to continue in the midst of this. The COVID-19 issue is also something that we have to face with. We just want people to be safe while we go on normally. Now, Brenda mentioned the first activity, which is the 15th. That is Wednesday. And it's a bringing together of all the churches in St. John together to celebrate and to start the festival. And it would be a combination of word and song and dance. We have the Baptists, we have the Catholic, we have the Pentecostals, we have the Open Bible, we have different denominations who will be participating. And those who have not yet responded, we're asking them to respond and be part of the celebration, and everybody join us in this part of it. So that will be the opening. We will be featuring Touch of Grace as part of the gospel night. So that's Wednesday evening, starting at 6 p.m. But before that, we have a gospel DJ who will lead us, set the tone for the evening. So it will be a big event on Wednesday night, starting it up.
Gospel DJ?
Yeah.
I need to be speaking to that DJ now.
Yeah. You
so that's the Christian breakaway session?
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
You want to call it that way.
But,
yeah, go ahead.
But I was just asking you, how important is it for you? Because I'm assuming we can well appreciate that the celebration has its genesis from the church. How important is it that you maintain that marriage between the church and community?
Right, and the church is not separate from the community. You have fishermen and their families who attend those churches, and we cannot separate them. Definitely, you can't. And if it's a celebration of the community, the church must be part of it. And the fact that the celebration came out of that relationship with the church and the community. So we have to maintain that. The second event, as was mentioned by Brenda, I just want to give a little more detail in terms of the 17th. It's a event where we bring together the finance sector, the insurance sector, NIS, the fishing shops and so on. We ask them to come to the fish market car park and provide services to fishermen so that they can improve their livelihood. And at the same time, we want to project career development. The young people can come around and there'll be presentations on the fishing industry so that they can find it a career choice that they can choose to become fishermen or some aspect of the fishing industry. I have seen in the past where young people have taken up that career because of those events.
And you sometimes get a sense, though, that even the individuals, those that are actively involved in the industry, that they see it more as just a thing that I do to get by, more than seeing it, reflecting, considering it to be a business, and it is something that can grow. I can start with one boat, and then maybe years down the line I can have a fleet. And I'm assuming this is all part of where you're hoping that conversation with the business sectors and other partners, it will hopefully lead?
Yes, definitely. That the fishermen will see this as a business, and it's not just like a hobby. Yes, it can stem from the hobby, but it can be more beneficial to you if you treat it that way, so that you can have sustenance for your family by providing good living conditions, good education for your children, and things like that. And over the years, we have seen that this is one of the areas that would be lacking, that we don't save. Let's take, for example, what Brenda mentioned about the retired fisher folks. Mm-hmm. I think if they would have taken, some of them would have taken the issue of fishing as a trade, as a business, their livelihoods would have been better. Now some of them have medical conditions and they can't provide for themselves. Some of them have living conditions, issues, and they cannot provide for themselves.
Right.
And they would have made a lot of money in the past, right? However, we do have some fishermen who are doing what they can to improve their livelihoods. And I must say the Guelph Fishermen Cooperative is one of the organs that is working for some of them to help them to get improved in their trade and in their business. And the Ministry of Fisheries, which we are working closely along with, to ensure that those activities come to fruition.
Well, no doubt, I mean, listening to you, I mean, I can safely say, and I didn't realize, and to be honest, that the celebration has literally moved from just the wine and jam on the street. And I guess what the challenge is, if you're not aware of it, you would probably think that it has not grown or isn't growing. So we got to opening night Wednesday, in case folks you're wondering, the 17th. That's this Wednesday. Starts with the trade service. The 15th, sorry. And take us through, Brenda. We got as far as where? Was it Saturday?
Yeah. Sunday the 19th.
Sunday the 19th,
So on June 28th to the 24th, we have what we call the St. John's Culture Heritage Scavenger Hunt. Now, this I will leave it for David to give you some more information, so I will just run through the rest of the activities. Saturday, 25th June, we have a special market day and a business exposition component where we have farmers, small business entrepreneurs, agro producers coming together on that day to showcase their produce and services. And on that same day, though, during the night, we have a cultural night and bonfire. So we will be featuring, artists and other persons from the community, or even outside, who is willing to participate in that activity as well. On Sunday, June the 26th, we have a health fair and a health walk. This is usually a very interesting activity where we see a lot of folks coming out to join together and do the walk. On Monday 27th, we have a symposium on the Greater St. John's project. Again, Mr. Hopkin will give you a lot more information on that.
Right.
And we'll culminate on the 28th. Actually, no, we have the 28th, which we call the Mass in June. This is where, like you say, the persons who come in for the wine and jam and all of that activity with the DJs and
well,
stuff.
I ain't that.
They will be coming on the 28th of June. And the final finale will be the 29th, where we have all the activities for that day.
Well, 29th, 28th, 29th, well, I on the inside. David, give me some more details. But let me ask you, I didn't hear anything. You said it was that activity, the scavenger hunt, from the 20th to the 24th. Please tell me there's nothing on the 23rd.
There's nothing on the 23rd. No, not the 24th.
Okay.
So the scavenger hunt is not a one-place activity. It's coming from one of the UNESCO projects that is on regarding preserving our intangible cultural heritage. Right. So what is happening is that a list of 20 clues will be posted online on our Facebook page, and persons in the community must find those historical sites in St. John. Now they must find them and do a little documentary on them, maybe a paragraph on it, and submit that to the GIC. And they stand a chance of winning some prizes, most likely compliments UNESCO office in Grenada.
Nice.
So it's about bringing awareness to the historical and heritage of St. John, and you'll get those clues, and the more you get, the better you stand a chance of winning one of those prizes. And you would be expected to explain those areas on video so that others can learn from that activity.
So you want to share one of the clues with me? See how maybe I can test myself? Try me. But give me an easy one, you know. Nothing too hard to kind of show me up on TV, you know.
Okay. The one of the, can I say, there's a natural, should I say, cave located in St. John's.
Oh, a lot of, Black Bay.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm not too good at the clue there.
Did I get it?
You got it.
See?
You got it. Black Bay cave.
That was easy. Yeah. There is a cave in Black Bay.
Something like that, yeah. There is a cave.
Okay.
So you may want to go to Black Bay Cave, take some pictures, and show evidence that you know.
Oh, nice. Right. That's something. That sounds rather exciting.
Yeah, and the 25th, as Brenda mentioned, will begin during the day with the market today around the Goa Vegetable Market, and that's where we include the farmers and the entrepreneurs who are into agro-processing. And the Ministry of Agriculture, also various departments will be there to help educate the farmers as to some of those things. In the afternoon, coming about 6:30, we begin the culture night. And it's a night of a number of things. One, the bonfire. Two, we have something called Come Taste We Had. So different persons, vendors around St. John, Guelph area, who do those, how should I say, wild meat and different things like that. They are encouraged to set up their booths and sell those. So persons can come and buy some curry, goat, or whatever is the case.
Behave yourself, David. Behave.
Then you will have some authentic calypso music. Not soca. The focus is on that
Kaiso
of the music.
Right.
So, you're gonna have some big drum dancing, some what you have storytelling. You're gonna have so it's surrounding the culture, the authentic culture, the base culture of the community, and we'll have the bonfire, which will be lit, and we'll have some ring games that will be played around that, and it will be taking place at the Cutler Peters Park.
Wow, sounds rather excited. And I get the sense you've actually covered the idea is to incorporate persons at all levels in society, whether young at heart, those that's probably into it for you looking your child at heart, you probably want a historical element to it, you want a business component to it, and I'm really happy. And for me, I'm saying that I honestly didn't realize that much effort was placed into ensuring. I think traditionally most folks they put emphasis just on the 29th itself, but I say hats off and kudos to you. Is this the first time that you've expanded the celebration to cover that 2 weeks period?
No, it has not been. The GIC, that is the Guelph Improvement Committee, which we represent, has been in operations for the past 22 years. And different persons have done different things in how to celebrate. And it has never just been the 29th since the community started. It has always had other activities surrounding the 29th. At least it culminates with the 29th. Yeah. So we have always had extended activities leading up to that. to that day. There have been some years where, because of different issues in the community, and I would also say the political climate at the time, we had to just settle for maybe 3 days.
Okay, right.
That kind of thing. Brenda mentioned the two activities, the health walk and health fair and the symposium. These two activities, while we have them on based on the election situation that we may have to scale down a bit because of the presidency. So we may just have the health walk starting from Concord to Guelph, to the jetty, and we hope that, as you mentioned, many persons take this opportunity to go walk from that venue to the other as a means of staying healthy, while some use it for a different reason, as you mentioned earlier.
Well, I could well imagine, but I mean, I must say you've done a fabulous job of incorporating different elements to the celebration. So, notwithstanding what your specific line of interest may be, you should find on any day within that 2-week period there is something. I didn't hear a Queen show, talent show, anything of that sort.
No, we leave that up to the Carnival committee because Carnival is close by. We sort of leave that up.
You don't want to steal their thunder.
Yeah, no, we don't. The other thing, the symposium on the Greater St. John project, is that we wanted to bring together various stakeholders within the community to share how they would like to see St. John over the next 5-10 years or even more. But again, we understand where we are at this point, so we may have to lay low on this one until another time where we could bring that to the front a bit more. And the Mass in June, it's a sort of street jam that Guelph is known for.
Stop saying, why are you being so modest? A sort of street jam. David, please. Okay. You're breaking my heart much of the people that live in Guelph.
Sorry.
Not a sort of, and it goes so soft in it, Brenda, a sort of street jam. It's a street jam. A session.
Yeah, it's a session, yeah. So it's a session. And Guelph is known for that. And I must say that people are looking forward to that aspect of their culture. Nowhere in Grenada you see that happen on that time of the year, where we move through the streets really having a good time.
Really, David? Like, you're trying to be modest? No, I keep saying, you always made a joke about Trinidadians don't need a reason to party. I often say, and I mean in a good way, that the folks at Guelph never seems to need a reason to celebrate.
Exactly.
I mean, the truth is, you walk through Guelph and there's always some attraction. There's always a vibe. There is always an energy. There's always an energy. And I think it's just part of Guelph, the culture, that pervading spirit that people just like to have a good time.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the idea of always being in the open, out in the sun, on the beach, out in the ocean. It's fun and laughter.
Yeah. So, and we continue with the day itself. We have the church service beginning at 9 a.m. at the St. Peter's Catholic Church.
Right.
And we expect government officials as well as the Governor General and school children and parishioners, fishermen. We invite all of them to attend, and it will be followed by the St. John Parade. This year we want to highlight the parade some more because, we want to highlight the institutions, the educational institutions in St. John's. We want them to come out. And I know the school's drum corps is preparing really hard for that.
Nice.
And we're going to see a good display of talent when it comes to drumming and the schools and so forth. And we expect the schools to have a contingent on there, and the Governor General would, receive the parade. And then we move to the beach for the blessing of the boats. And from then we move straight into the aquatic and the beach activities.
That's always exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And we have a good program lineup. We're going to have the sailing boat races, which will begin on the 28th. I must say, the 28th, we'll have the first series of it.
Right. And
then on the 29th, we're also going to have some engine boat races. So we will have for the 40, the 60, and the 75 races. For engine boats, and there's special prizes for them. And we'd have football, visit pole, and different things happening on the beach. Mm-hmm. On stage, this year we would not be having a stage on the road. The stage would be on the beach from morning right until midnight. And we're going to have the Bly session right up to about 8 o'clock, where all our young artists in St. John's can come forward or otherwise and present their songs, their soca, their calypso, whatever you have.
I like that. The Bly session.
Bly session.
Okay.
And then from about 8 o'clock, we go into a real solid show to culminate the Fisherman's Birthday and the prize giving.
That's when Mr. Killer and the boys come out?
Yeah, that time, yeah.
Right.
We're still trying to put that cast together, but we have made contacts. We're working on that still, just to tighten things a bit, so I don't want to say much, so that
you don't want to give her too much. I understand. You want to hold something back, because we've got. What is Shane doing in all of this, though, Brenda? I know you. I can see yourself and David working. What is Shane doing in all of this? And don't cover for him. What is he doing?
Dave is very much a part of the committee, and he gives ideas.
She's still trying to cover for him. Eh? I told her, David, not to don't cover for him. Yeah, actually, he's part of the committee. He's giving ideas.
Well, he also works as well, so he's not just.
And I'm just joking. I'm just joking. He's probably
he should be on the show with us as well this morning. We're supposed to be 3 of us.
He's actually just smiling. But I do have some fun memories. Some couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to come up to cover the event on the beach, and we did a post production of it, and it was just a whole lot of fun. The aquatic stuff, the boat racing and everything. It was just really a really melting pot of activities, and I'm certain that this year 2022 is not going to be any different, if not greater, as you push the envelope and you expand what we've traditionally known to be Fisherman's Birthday, Brenda.
Yes, indeed. We're asking, the whole of Grenada to come in, participate since the 15th of June. As you rightly saw, we have activities from the 15th to the 29th that would fit just about every and anybody. What we do encourage is that people, take some time to protect yourself. We're still in the COVID era, and we would like you to observe protocols where necessary and participate and have fun, because it's a time to celebrate, a time to join with the fisher folks, a time to, just be happy. After all, we're coming out of COVID, and we've been inside for a while. So, we want to make this year a really bumper year to go off.
Indeed. David, any parting words from you? You're muted, David. Any parting words from you as you get ready to wrap?
Well, first of all, I want to say that it's a collaborative event. We have the Royal Grenada Police Force working along with us, and we want to encourage all our patrons to let's keep it safe and less incidents, if not no incidents whatsoever. It's a partnership between the Ministry of Fisheries, the Ministry of Culture, Grenada Cultural Foundation, and some of our sponsors. We have a lot of sponsors. I would, at some point, maybe we can come back and share who our sponsors are as we get things together. But we want to encourage members of the community to join us in making this event successful. The major fundraiser for us during the celebrations is our bar. So each event we're going to have a bar there, and we want persons to patronize the bar. We also have an office that is being set up on the lands opposite Kelly's
hotspot.
Vendors can go purchase their passes. It would be ready by Wednesday, so you can purchase your pass to sell either drinks or food, or have a DJ up. That is one way we can fund some of the things that we are doing. And we would like the general public to partner with us and cooperate with us as we make this the best community Irish event in Grenada.
Well, thank you, Brenda. Thank you, David. They are members of the Guelph Improvement Committee. Grenada, it's about to happen. Just 2 days away. It starts with the church service. You don't want to miss it. 2 weeks of fun and excitement as we celebrate Fisherman's birthday. And certainly, I really want to encourage you. It doesn't matter what facet of life that you come from. You want to be part of this 2 weeks of excitement. Education, fun, and particularly looking forward together with Brenda for that session where you get to bring some of the seniors. You get out. You learn so much from them, honestly. I know very often we tend to castigate them, push them aside because we think they're old. But suddenly, the wisdom that they come with is wisdom way beyond our time. But Grenada, that's where we have to leave it. We have to leave it for now. Yes, David? Mm-hmm.
The gospel night is on the street near the Guelph gas station on Wednesday.
Well, fire
in the church is out on the road.
Well, I can safely tell you, fire going to blaze on that night.
Yes.
The place lit.
And Joe, before you all, I just wanted, big up our committee members because, they really put in a lot of effort and they've been working really, really hard to get all of these activities planned and put together. So just want to give them a big shout out there.
Well, and give Shane some extra work for me. Yeah, keep him busy. Morning, cuz. This is where we leave the conversation for now. I'm certain, Brenda, David, that before we get to the tour, we're going to have this conversation as the events unfold, so at least the general public can get a full appreciation of all the plans and excitement that's been put together for Fisherman's Birthday 2022. And that's where we leave the conversation for now. Grenada, indeed, it's always a pleasure being here with you. We say thanks to all those of you that was part of the conversation, those of you in classic radio or GBN television, and those of you on the other platforms. We're getting ready for GT. He's coming in to take you forward bang up until 12. Until then, so long, everybody. JC loves you. Have yourself a great one.